Well, I was interested in coming to Greece, particularly because of the crisis going on right now. I'm concerned about the financial crisis that's been going on here as in elsewhere, and this is, you might say, the eye of the hurricane for financial crisis in Europe, especially considering rates of youth unemployment, which I believe are somewhere above 40%, being the highest in Europe right now.
Europe, in youth, yeah, it could reach even 60%.
So being sort of a hurricane chasing journalist, if you like, I wanted to get a view from the ground and meet people who are being affected by these problems, to meet people and get their stories, because this is the kind of thing that I think is most important in journalism, is to speak to speak to people whose lives are being affected by power, whose lives are being affected by forces of the market and forces of the state, and so that's why I came here to Thessaloniki.
And how did you learn about us?
I first learned, I think, from BBC or possibly Al Jazeera about the shutdown of the public broadcaster here, although I had not heard that it was actually still in operation with this auto management that's going on here right now.
And what do you think, David, about all that?
Well,
we have to explain that this interview is taking place after the opposite interview. So
right.
I gave you an interview.
Right.
How do you think about the whole thing?
Well, first, just let me tell you about how I found out about it being occupied here, about in the auto management. I was walking around in Thessaloniki, and I saw the banners outside, and I approached one of the workers, and she invited me in and told me about
Lilia.
The situation here. Right, Lilia, and after my conversation with you, I would say that it sounds like an inspiring kind of example of how journalism, when it's unleashed from its constraints of its constraints, in this case, the constraints of being a public broadcaster that may be in some way beholden to the government, there is a kind of emancipation that takes place. There's sort of a sense of renewed vitality or energy and excitement that you communicated to me, that I think is inspiring.